Greenland's Prime Minister says his people don't want to be Americans after Donald Trump suggested the US might seize the island.
The Alternative for Germany party has officially elected Alice Weidel as its right-wing candidate for chancellor.
Officials in California say the death toll from massive wildfires burning in and around Los Angeles has risen to 11. Greenland's Prime Minister has said his people don't want to be Americans after President-elect Donald Trump suggested the US could seize the island. Mutabi Egil acknowledged that Greenland is part of the North American continent, but said Greenland is for the Greenlandic people. The semi-autonomous island is a territory of Denmark, and Egil has been calling for independence. Trump said earlier this week that he wouldn't rule out using force or economic pressure in order to make Greenland a part of the United States. He said it was a matter of national security. Those comments sparked anxiety in Denmark and across Europe. The US is an ally of the EU and the leading member of NATO, and many in Europe were shocked that an incoming US leader could consider using force against an ally. Greenland has a population of 57,000 and is the world's largest island.
The Alternative for Germany party has officially elected Alice Weidel as its right-wing candidate for chancellor during a two-day party conference in Riesa. The announcement of her candidacy came after the gathering was delayed by more than 1 hour due to anti-AfD protests. Polls show AfD in second place in the upcoming election with about 20% support. However, Weidel has a low chance of becoming Germany's chancellor, as other parties have refused to work with the AfD. Leading the polls is the conservative CDU with its leader Friedrich Merz, who called for fundamental change to German politics at the CDU's conference in Hamburg. In Berlin, Chancellor Olaf Scholz targeted the CDU at the center-left SPD conference.
Jetzt ist nicht die Zeit für die uralten Rezepte. Jetzt ist nicht die Zeit für Politik auf dem Rücken der ganz normalen Leute oder knapp. Jetzt ist nicht die Zeit für CDU, CSU in Deutschland.
After Olaf Scholz's coalition collapsed in November, polls show that support for his party sits at around 14 to 17%.
Officials in California say the death toll from massive wildfires burning in and around Los Angeles has risen to 11. And the tally of homes and other buildings destroyed stands at more than 10,000. LA County Sheriff Robert G. Luna said around 153,000 residents are now under evacuation orders. He also said a nighttime curfew is in place covering the Palisades and Eaton fire areas, and that officers are patrolling to prevent looting. He said more than 57,000 structures remain at risk. Mayor Karen Bass said Los Angeles is preparing for more high winds forecast for next week. The blazes started on Tuesday, powered by gusts from the Santa Ana winds, which followed an exceptionally dry period. Officials say investigations into how the fires first broke out are still ongoing.
Several people have been wounded in a series of drone attacks on both the Russian and Ukrainian side during the early hours of Saturday morning. No fatalities have been reported. In Ukraine, 2 citizens were wounded in Zaporizhia, according to local authorities. Some 20 houses were destroyed.
Как грянет этот взрыв, такой, что вы онемели, мы заступорило всех. Вот, а потом выскочили на улицу смотреть, что сосед уже ремонтирует, у него тоже крыша повредила.
Local authorities in Moscow say at least 7 people were injured in a Ukrainian drone attack on the Tambov region overnight. Since Russia's all-out invasion of Ukraine in 2022, there has been tens of thousands of fatalities on both sides. It is Europe's biggest armed conflict since World War II.